Today we need to talk about V dropping a teaser and then people believing that V actually leaked the music video itself. We also need to get into people saying that Big Hit staff should be fired for abusing Jung Kook, and then a video that shows Jung Kook allegedly being touched. And then we have a Backless intimate video that came out. So hey Dumplings, it's Dave. Decide hate it or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. It's Hasteling Bug Merge, and let's go. I think what HYBE has done is absolutely genius. They have tried to make the most content they could while JHope and Jin were not enlisted yet, and a lot of the stuff they are slowly starting to roll out now. And who knows what other stuff they will roll out when the boys and all the boys are enlisted. But JHope was one of the first to do his solo stuff, and there's still things being rolled out for him. One thing that just dropped was JHope's Jack in the Box shoot. So for this, the teasers and concept photos, they decided to drop what it was like behind the scenes and the cute black and white outfits that we only saw the finished product of. It's very interesting to see how these concepts are made and how they've come to life. We've seen JHope in what appears to be a little box, and then in the behind the scenes video, we finally see how the set looks and sort of how they were able to manipulate the set and camera to make it appear like something magical and unreal. This is why I love photography and video, just being a part of something where it's a bunch of very real things put together to make this very unreal experience for the viewer. JHope had many different hairstyles too, but we are not talking about those things today. One of the things that was documented and reported on by news was his backless blazer. This was also something that made the fans go crazy, so if you've not seen the behind the scenes and don't know what I am talking about, I will catch you up, and you can also watch that with me along with other K-pop videos over on Patreon. So if you're interested in doing that, I will link that in the description. We still have a $1 tier with limited spots, but anywho, if you look at the final concept photos, you'd see no backless blazer, but there was an outfit that looks like a cool oversized blazer. At first I thought it was two blazers put together to make it look more oversized, but it appeared to just be like that. So that's a blazer that was made to look like that and have a backless part. So there was a shoot that was happening, and the staff asked JHope to turn around so that they could get some shots from the back. Of course, that would definitely be an interesting photo as there's tons of him from the front. Let's see some back. But JHope was reluctant and turned slowly, and then the staff noticed and responded, "Oh, I didn't expect that." Of course, you could see JHope's reaction to this, and he was laughing a lot. This is definitely very funny as the blazer doesn't require a backless portion, but I think this specific item of clothing was probably more for red carpet appearances or something like that, and not meant to just be something for casual wear. And of course, the shoot isn't casual either, but he is not trying to make it appear like he's wearing unusual, unrelatable clothes in the shoot, and the front of the blazer is definitely very normal. Speaking of music videos, we are having some very interesting new releases coming from Taeyang. People were very adamantly upset that Taeyang didn't receive quote-unquote proper promotion from HYBE, and one of those complaints was that the recent music videos that had dropped, Rainy Days and Love Me Again, did not receive a teaser, and thus they were dropped randomly without ARMYs knowing ahead of time, and thus they would plan a streaming party or something so they can get Taeyang the views that they feel he deserves. And so Taeyang recently got a teaser for Blue, and I bet all these haters are now thinking that their protests worked, and then throwing a temper tantrum to HYBE resulted in finally getting a teaser for the next music video, but I really don't think that's true. Taeyang's release thus far has been very much similar to an indie artist release. It's been a bit messy yet organized, and there's a reason why. There's a strategy behind all of this, and a lot of the art that Taeyang and his team were planning is now being completely overlooked because certain fans were demanding that Taeyang have a certain album rollout that maybe would not have made any sense to the story of these songs. And I hate the idea that some people are sitting there being like, yeah, my outrage worked. Taeyang released the Blue music video trailer, and people had some theories that involved the two music videos he released before and how it ties into Blue. So essentially the other two songs were almost teasers for Blue. So these videos build up to the ultimate release release, and thus that song, whether it's Blue or the one after, is what requires attention and streaming. Fans get caught up and tunnel vision of just streaming and just views. They overlook art. Art is not about getting as many views as possible. And I bet BTS would much rather get lower views if that meant every person that watched it understood the art and the message that is in the video. And not everyone has to be obsessed with the art part. However, if you're sitting there waiting for a music video to drop just so you can give it 3 million views, I would hope you would at least make some effort to try to understand what the point was. So many BTS fans will just think of views and not care about the art. And that tells me the only reason those people like BTS is because they don't want another K-pop act to get #1 on the charts. Not that they actually care about BTS's message, which is why when push comes to shove, they're quick to completely ignore BTS's message and spread hate. But I actually don't want to get into that too much more. I want to talk about how people think Taeyang actually leaked the Blue music video and concept way before the teaser dropped. And if you watch the music video that he released in order, you'll see a story and how they are a continuation of each other. In Love Me Again, the phone was turned off, and then in Rainy Days, we see Taeyang nodding off to sleep, and it's alongside images of Taeyang in a completely empty apartment that looks like there's supposed to be 2 people there. In Love Me Again, the message is obviously about a breakup, and then we are seeing Blue in black and white, and this could likely be a dream that Taeyang is having after falling asleep in Rainy Days. Now, the concept and story here has been figured out by a lot of people online already, and I'm definitely not going to take credit for figuring it out first. This is an interpretation that has just existed online and in fan forums. So people think that Blue has been hinting and leaked for a while, and the story there is probably going to be a breakup story in the music video. I love that theory, but most of all, I love that the boys get to do concepts and art that they enjoy, because I think if it were to be entirely up to HYBE, the boys would have to do pop music, and there's nothing wrong with pop. Jungkook is doing it and enjoys it, but not every member has a great voice for pop. They likely could do pop and do very well, but they might have voices better suited for other genres. Like Taeyang is definitely R&B and jazz, while RM is obviously going to be hip-hop, so I love that. I don't love the backlash that Jungkook has been getting for staying in pop and doing American pop. This includes music that is more westernized and sexualized. People think he is doing the nasty all the time, and there's videos and edits that come out a lot where people try to stick Jungkook's name on it. One specific video that has come out in a video that appears like Jungkook is getting super flirty with a staff member. People think it's a staff because it appears like Jungkook is behind the scenes or in a changing room. Many people really believe it's Jungkook due to the hair, and then since the video is a bit blurry and far away and you can't see all the details, it's believed to be Jungkook due to the sleeve tattoo. And from far away, it really does look like Jungkook. I'm not gonna lie. It appears like Jungkook is getting very chummy with the staff, and the staff is even allegedly touching in a more sexual way. Now, going back, people are already extremely upset every time a staff member gets near Jungkook because they think the staff abuses Jungkook. From moments where it appeared like the BTS manager hit him to even people saying that HYBE has abused Jungkook by doing numerous things that the fandom may not like. And the fandom loves throwing around the word abuse. People have asked specific staff members to get fired, and even the alleged manager was apparently dismissed by HYBE. So of course, naturally, people think that the staff wouldn't ever dare touch Jungkook, and if they do, they should get fired or some sort of repercussion. But Jungkook is more than capable of handling himself, and in a situation in which he would be in danger, I'm sure he'd know how to maneuver out of it. So if this was a real situation where Jungkook was getting touched by the staff, I think it wouldn't escalate. But going back to the alleged video, this is actually not Jungkook after doing some research, but the man in the video is actually a reality star from the Korean show Singles Inferno. The man is named Jin Young, and since his appearance on the show, he has been called a Jungkook lookalike. And if you don't know anything about the reality show, this is a love show and it's on Netflix. So naturally there will be moments where someone on the show gets touchy with someone else, and that is what we are seeing. But it's interesting as that's likely known by the person who made the edit, but it's then widely believed by the fans because Jungkook's more liberated side is being shown a lot more lately. But let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos. Link down below. Thanks for those lovely comments right here. Love you. Bye.